This thought has been hiding in a dank, juicy fold of my brain since about 2015. Then I saw something recently, and that something dislodged the original thought.
Curry blocked by James.
Now it's oozing out onto this video all right here, right now. Okay, these guys, basically anybody under 6'3", they do not care if you block their shot. They don't care if you swat that shit to half court. They don't care if you knock it into the stands and knock a poor old lady out. Because see, the way short works is different than the way tall works. Let me make this clear. Let me take this back to hopefully a place that we can all relate to, or maybe you know somebody who can relate to. These guys, basically anybody under 6'3", they do not care if you block their shot. They don't care if you swat that shit to half court. They don't care if you knock it into the stands and knock a poor old lady out. Because see, the way short works is different than the way tall works. Let me make this clear. Let me take this back to hopefully a place that we can all relate to, or maybe you know somebody who can relate to. Every guy who played sports, basketball specifically, except for an extremely small group of people, we were all short at one point in our life. But for some guys not named me, they got plucked from mediocrity by the outstretched hand of nature, genes, the God above, when seemingly one summer day they were gripped by the cranium and stretched out another 6 to 10 inches in a family sense. See, these chosen few woke up that magical morning in August, realizing that their clothes now fit like sausage casing and they could barely fit their toes into their shoes. These lucky few had their growth spurt. The truth is, every single guy who ever played basketball was hoping and waiting for that day. The day you woke up and your life was determined. You are going to be in the NBA. At least that's what everybody thinks. It's a magical summer, and then you start school the next year and everybody's looking up at you. I mean, really, it's only when you hit about 18 or 19 when you realize that day is never gonna come, and you wake up from your hoop dream and you realize your summer of exceptionalism will never come, or it'll come in the form of, I don't know, the violin or something, but it ain't gonna be in basketball. And you realize you're doomed to stare average people in the eye. It's the hardest thing in the world for a teenage boy to look in the mirror and accept the phrase, "You are not going to be tall." It's funny, but it's true. It is. Even the ones that knew they weren't going to be tall because their parents were short, they still held out hope. You'd still find that one case where 2 5'2" parents had a 6'6" kid, even though those parents probably should have had a conversation between each other. You still held out hope. But even in that grave disappointment, some of us are not as deterred as others. Some of them, I knew a few of them, they wore their basketball disability as a badge. It's who they were. And they worked to overcome that. Now, I'm not trying to paint short people as a disadvantage, because it's not really even short. It's short in terms of basketball sense. If you're basketball short, it is a disadvantage on the court. Now, but tall people and short people, talking about basketball people, they both have their hurdles. They both have things to overcome. When you're big and play basketball, you have problems like another giant man's armpit in your face now and then. I don't know, maybe getting your foot stepped on by another gigantic overweight man. There's all the opportunities to get your groin and chest region blasted over and over again by another man's large behind. That's just how it works in the post. Somebody's always trying to back it up on you. Tall people injuries. Tall people injuries are unique. I mean, they could hurt things like their knee. There's also the other knee, and then both knees. You could hurt both knees. These are the types of things that tall people deal with on the basketball court. So what are the small ball players' problems? What do they have to deal with? Well, some rare times you're leaping from the floor and you're utilizing every bit of your 32-inch vertical leap. You extend your arms to the sky for what may just be your second rebound of the entire game, and some gigantic freak show blocks out the sun and picks the ball out of the air 4 feet above your head. That's the kind of shit that happens to small people. And sometimes, well, these borderline health hazards will take advantage of physics and they will block your attempt at a layup.
Throws it up, Towns throws it away.
See, that's just one of many regular-ass things to count on when you are a short player in the National Basketball Association, the world's best, most exclusive basketball league, where all the tallest people in the world battle just to get in.
Let them know, not here, big fella, not here.
And then there's little old you. They said you couldn't do it. You know how many times people have blocked your shot? You know how many walking thyroid conditions have knocked your layup into the third row? It's nothing. It's nothing. How many times do you get up in the air, wiggling between giant bodies, try to spit it off the glass, and one of these large-ass blue oxes swats it out of the air? Now look at Isaiah Thomas. How many times do you think in his life he's dealt with getting his shot blocked? It's probably an everyday occurrence. He probably can't go to the YMCA without getting his shit blocked at least once. That's the risk you run. That's just one of the disadvantages to being short in the NBA. I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages. One of the disadvantages that I notice is the NBA jersey. It'll fit the short players right. By the way, that's totally the problem with basketball movies. The jerseys always fit on the star like they're little guys, so it doesn't look real. See, with normal size NBA players, I guess, we're used to the fabric moving and flowing in a certain way. It moves different. It's like the waves in the ocean. They're large, they're long, they're graceful. The extra material of the size 77 jersey, quadruple X shorts, the weight and the gravity of the material on their jerseys and shorts, it flows like an expensive curtain in a high ceiling room. But when we see the same jerseys made from the same material on a little guy, it kind of looks puffy. It looks like when you put a baby in some basketball gear. It looks starched. It looks like it's cheap cotton. It looks stiff. It's more like a Burger King napkin jammed into a 5-year-old's collar. Like, that's how it moves. Anyway, that's just something I've noticed. Okay. Think about living amongst the groins. Not quite eye level, but just really closely associated with these groins. It's gotta bother them a little bit. It's one of the many things they've gotta overcome. It's like if you sent a deer to live with a pack of elephants. Well, after a couple of weeks, that poor deer is gonna learn a lot about the sensitive anatomy of an elephant. I assume the same goes for our dear friend Isaiah. Anyway, if you've made it this far, you thrive. And you've practiced the delicate art, the precise art of basketball physics, and how to actually get a shot off. Probably get most of your shots off. But he knows, and I know, and you know, and if you don't know, you will know, now you know. There's almost no shot that a little guy takes in the lane that doesn't have the potential to get blocked. They could all get blocked. There's no time where he's coming in over the rim and nobody can reach him. Every shot's coming from under, and there's always an opportunity for it to get blocked. He just has to hope there's little tricks and sleight of hand and pool spins, fool these big dummies. But at least once a game, one of these Homer-esque gargantuans will lumber through and block his shot. And then in the NBA, guess what? There's some actually nimble large people. And these days, everybody's quick. So you know what? It's harder to trick everybody. But everybody likes to get their hand on the little guy's layup. There's no risk. So, I mean, it's all just science. It's just simply going to happen. So you, whoever you are, getting off on blocking little guys' shots, you're not special. You're not. Get over it. Stop looking stupid, celebrating the block shot of a comparably child-sized opponent.
It's bedlam here in
Now,
Cleveland.
there's this case. I know it's in the finals. You can get a little more juiced, but this is the one that really drove me over the edge.
Get it out of here.
You gotta understand, whether you're growling at the shorter player, whether you're yelling at them, you're not embarrassing them. Them getting their shot blocked is not embarrassing. Them falling down, that's embarrassing. Them getting crossed over, that's embarrassing. That kind of stuff. You blocking their shot, they're so used to that. They're so used to that. All they're thinking is on to the next play. You, on the other hand, you're trying to make this a damn top 10 highlight of your career. So, LeBron, when you swat Steph Curry's shot and you look at it, I want you to know, and all of your fans, it's not an accomplishment. It's not. If you want an accomplishment, if you want a man-sized accomplishment, pick somebody up at half court, pick their pocket, run it back for a dunk. And you can dunk as hard or soft as you'd like to, whatever mood you're in. That's an accomplishment. Then you can dance, you can snarl, whatever you want. That's something comparably worth celebrating if you do to a little guy.
Williams the touchback.